Hey guys, before we begin this episode, I wanted to apologise for the technical difficulties you're about to hear. Long story short, I forgot to plug in my microphone when we were recording, so all of my talking has come from my laptop microphone, which is considerably worse than what I'm recording with now. So, sorry about that. I still think we're fairly funny, so please try and enjoy the show. Hello, welcome back to the shipping forecast. Sorry, it's been a long time since we recorded. Our schedules kind of got very mixed up with the current situation in the world, which we're not really going to talk about as much. I think this podcast should be a distraction from that. Do you guys agree?
I'd also just like to add, you would have thought that we'd have more time to get things done. What with us
I
all
know,
being
right?
with us all being off work, but there we go.
What do you mean all of us
So-
being off work? I'm still going to work.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nick, it's
Absolute-
just you that's
it's
been
just
off work.
You, Nick.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going back next week.
Oh,
So even that-
poor
Yeah,
thing.
they've reopened again, so we're going to have even less time.
Oh.
So I'll explain what actually happened to all three of us in this situation. So Grace has still been working for the last month. We're currently recording this on May 2nd, so the lockdown's been going on for about a month now. Grace swapped to night shifts, is that right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, Grace swapped to night shifts, so we then had to figure out when we can record for her. I've still been working full time, but I've just been trapped in a house on my own for 44 days. Not
Hang
that
on.
I'm counting.
I thought we were. Oh yeah, we're not going to talk about it. We're all just having a win.
I know, right? I
Like-
figured I should explain why we're not able to record right now, or haven't been able
don't
to.
give him an explanation. Just be like, suck it up, bitches. You'll get it when you get it.
There's that too. But
So yeah, you know that.
Nick, however, has had no excuse and has spent the last month day drinking.
Yeah.
And we've finally managed to rattle him out of that coma to help us record an episode.
Well, actually, it wasn't you. It was the text that I got last week from my boss saying we're going back to work.
So he gets a text from his boss, rattles him out of the day drink coma that you've been in while we've been working,
Yeah.
and all of this stuff. So, yeah, now we're finally getting around to record. We're coming back with some of the Good Omens fanfiction that we've had a lot of time to read, and we're going to start with an episode that I mean, last time we talked a lot about my curiosity about the feeder fic fandom, and Nick talks a lot about cars, so we're going to start with the two we were looking forward to the least, I think.
I'd just like to add that only Jim will get your sexual fantasies ruined in this episode.
It was never a sexual fantasy for me. I thought it would be quite nice to have. Like, it's.
What? What? To have the fantasy, the feeder fantasy.
I guess so.
You're going
I'm not
to-
sure where I was going with it last time.
I guess you just want a pretty girl to sit around, like you, and feed you,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
and not mind that you're getting fatter and fatter and fatter.
Yeah, that sounds like the ideal relationship for me.
Oh. God.
I suppose there's somebody out there for everybody, and I'm sure there will be a manic pixie dream girl who likes stuffing your face with donuts.
Who's also a chef.
Yeah,
at
who's
a
also a
waffle
chef.
restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, and who loves stuffing your face with donuts and ice cream and all sorts.
One day. However, this fic did not turn out quite like that. There's more to this than I thought there would be. So
Really?
I may as well dive into talking about that bod, which is by Anonymous. Now I don't know if Anonymous is the, how do I describe this? I don't know if that's like a button you can set on Archive of Our Own, or if this person has picked the username Anonymous.
Maybe it's the hackers.
The hackers.
They've
It
got
wouldn't surprise me.
they've
if-
got nothing to do, so they've just written a feeder fic.
What?
to fuck with people.
So
Yeah,
I've just checked,
but-
and it looks like you can set your name as anonymous on AO3, and then any work you publish under that will just not have your name assigned to it.
Oh, right, okay. So
the point?
they...
No one's gonna know
Actually-
who you are behind that name like a name anyway. Surely.
I was going to
Yeah,
say...
but what if you are also a prolific writer on AO3 otherwise, and you don't want to be known for writing something like Datbod, for example?
Okay.
It is
And why
AO3.
write it in the first place?
I was going to say it's AO3. I would have thought that like having a feeder fic under your name would be a badge of honor, especially if it's like a feeder fic which people like and sort of, I don't know, get.
And this
turned on
one
to or
was
whatever.
quite high up in the Good Omens searches, wasn't it? Like, it's got 1,700 hits in the right.
Wow.
So, a lot of people have read this, and they do seem to like it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jesus.
So, I should probably, before we start, we at the Shipping Forecast are not here to kink shame anyone. Like, this, you do you, and that's fine. I don't think this was for me.
We're not going to kink shame, but by
Yes, I will.
We're not here
Fuck
to
off.
Grace is here to kink shame. I personally try to go into all of these fics with an open mind, and yeah, you guys are into some strange stuff.
We're not here to kink shame, but by God, we're going to.
I don't intend to.
We'll see how long that lasts before you get disturbed enough.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
We'll see.
does uttering the words "oh for fuck's sake" when encountered by something count as kink shaming?
Yeah, that's the point. Where is the line here between just being disgusted and kink shaming?
That's a hard one to tread. I'm gonna say
Shall we look it up?
my take on. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wikihow.
First,
How
we are
to...
8 minutes in, and this is the first tangent.
Okay, so Wikihow, how to kink shame.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I'll check Wikihow properly.
No, it's, I don't. I was only putting it into Google, but
So there are 2 articles in Google when I type that in that are interesting.
right.
The first one is how to overcome shame,
Okay.
and the second one, and I'll wait for it to load before I say it. There are how to cope with being a diaper lover, 13 steps.
What?
How to cope with them? How to
How to
cope
cope with being one.
with
Wow.
being one?
Only 13 steps.
A 13-step
Yeah.
program.
That
It's,
sounds like one of
A
those
13-step program.
lose weight in 6 weeks as well. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't sound possible, does it?
Live with wearing a nappy.
is the first step admitting you have a problem?
Clearly.
No, it's the opposite actually. It's
What? What? Pretending
Step-
you don't have a problem.
step 1 is know that you are not alone.
Oh wow.
What?
Okay. So it's not like, hi, I'm Nick and I'm an alcoholic.
No. Step 2 is learning about your feelings and exploring it further.
Oh right. Okay. So
Step 3 is accepting yourself.
This was
4,
written by one
deal
who
with
wants
guilt.
friends. That's
It
just what
does
it is,
seem
isn't
like
it?
So, the summary of Dadbod
yes.
is it's a line and a half, so I'll just read the whole thing. Crowley wants a child more than anything, but his current body weight isn't ideal for carrying a baby more than 9 months.
Oh,
So,
fucking hell.
with a little planning and a lot of praise and mutual kinks, he and Aziraphale get his weight up.
Here we go, ladies and gents. It's an Mpreg fic.
Oh no.
It is an Mpreg fic, which I didn't realise going in. I probably should have with a title like that, but the notes say super kinky shit ahead, last warning. So expect it to get very kinky as it goes.
I feel like I'm a fisherman looking into the eye of the storm and just gradually going closer towards it, and I don't want to be here.
It's, what's that old saying? if one preoccupies yourself with chasing monsters, then one must take care not to become the monster. And if you stare long enough into the abyss,
Yeah,
abyss
if you
stares
stare long
back
into the abyss, the abyss stares back.
I'm already corrupted.
And
Okay,
that's
I
where
get
we
it.
are.
Yeah, that's where we
Christ,
are.
we brought you as a guide. This was the point.
I know, but there are just some areas that, I don't like to walk down, and I'm being forced to go down them.
I seem to recall last time we sat down and recorded, you were begging me to review this fic.
I know, yeah, because I wanted you to suffer, then I realised, oh shit, I'm gonna have to be here with you as well. And that's where everything backfired.
Oh, wow. So, let's talk about Dad Blood.
Right. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
this
What's
to
going
me.
on?
Okay,
What's going
so
on in
canonically,
Denmark?
this is set after the story of Good Omens. They are now living in South Downs. They have a little cottage together. They're clearly living together in a relationship. And Crowley starts getting, and I believe the technical term for this is the baby crazy. So he's started dropping hints that he wants them to have a child. He'll leave his laptop open on Mumsnet. He'll look at listings of new cribs and start asking about, hey, how do you want the nursery done? And eventually Aziraphale snaps, and they're like, okay, we should have a child together. Now, both in terms of canon and in terms of the Bible, I don't think angels and demons can have children together. So this raises a lot of questions from a lore perspective.
But then again, I don't think the Bible really goes into it anyway,
No.
so there is no right or wrong
Probably
answer
not.
here. It's just very unlikely based on an educated guess, eh?
But I don't know. It's a lot of questions that I'm kind of disappointed aren't brought up in this fic, but here we are.
Yeah, they never taught us about it in
No.
philosophy and theology, sadly.
No, they didn't.
I should have asked my
Will
teacher. Oh, miss, can angels and demons bang? And can they
Can
have
two
children?
male angels
See
and
what she
demons
said.
bang and have children as well?
Oh, yeah.
Also that.
Of course,
Interesting.
as we discover in the realm of fanfic, anybody and anything can do whatever the fuck the creator wants them to do.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, unfortunately, there is a slight problem with them having children.
Okie doke.
And that is that Crowley is underweight.
I didn't.
Oh, so it's Crowley that's carrying it.
Yeah, Crowley wants to carry the baby.
Oh.
And it's Aziraphale's going to be the dad, which it's unusual for the for this kind of fandom, because typically Aziraphale is portrayed as like the more effeminate of the two.
He's the soft, mothery type, isn't he?
Yeah, that's how I would have interpreted it. But no, Crowley is going to be the maternal figure.
On the other hand,
in...
Crowley was like Mary Poppins-esque.
He did dress as Mary Poppins
he did
at
dress
one
up
time.
as Mary Poppins, like a nanny, so maybe that's the inspiration.
I still
It
need
could
to see
be.
this. If only for the Bentley.
You should watch Good Omens. It is very good, and I hope none of this puts you off. Unfortunately, Crowley is quite underweight, and if you look at Doten, he's a fairly skinny lad, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of underweight mothers have complications during birth, disregarding the fact that one of them is a demon and a male demon at that. Yeah, so...
Yeah, we can see why
So they
this
come
would
up
be
with
a
a-
complication, indeed.
Yeah. So they come up with a plan. And that plan is to help Crowley gain weight.
Hey.
So they put together a list of all the food that Crowley likes. Turns out goose is the main one, and he doesn't like anything with tomato in it. Which is fair enough, I'm not particularly keen on tomato either.
Smart man.
Goose is quite nice though. Which also links nicely to the last fanfiction we read, because
Oh yeah.
goose in it.
Yeah. Here we go. We're back to the goose imagery again.
So we time skip a bit. There's a lot of very graphic descriptions of them eating. Would you like me to read some of this?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go for it. I can. I think you're going to anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
It was up to you guys.
Why are you making us choose? Like, what is this?
There's always a choice, Grace. I want you to remember that.
Yes, and I'm picking the dark one. Read it out.
Good. So, you need to finish, dear. We made an agreement. 3 meals a day.
Yeah, already stop. I
Crowley
hate
whined.
it.
He wasn't used to eating so much. After breakfast, lunch, and most of dinner, he felt impossibly bloated. His jeans were getting tight and he wanted to sleep. Aziraphale picks up Crowley's fork, spearing a chunk of roast goose. Come now. Crowley leaned forward and took a bite. He blushed when Aziraphale praised him after he swallowed. The little praises and endearments made Crowley lean forward again and again, till his plate was clean and Aziraphale was cooing. He was well aware that he'd do anything if Aziraphale was verbally rewarding him for it. That sounds like quite...
I think I need to back out of ever choosing anything again.
So that sounds like quite a romantic scene, and then you remember what's essentially happening is Aziraphale is holding a spoon to Crowley and going, "Here comes the food," choo choo choo, like that. And as soon as you think of that, it completely ruins the scene. At least it does for me.
It's very well written, but yeah.
Just take a moment to imagine, like, David Tennant just sat on... I'm imagining it on a sofa, and Michael Sheen just with his fork, just going, "Woo, here comes the plane."
Oh, no.
For fuck's sake. So, it's there's bits of this that have made us cringe already, and it's not actually the sex.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
this
the
scene
romance is
continues.
worse.
The scene continues, and I'd like to remind you, you had a choice.
Oh yeah. Nick, you didn't have a choice. Can you decide something so we can back out of this?
No,
Nick.
do you know...
Nick, I just want a yes or no answer. What are you doing?
No, we'll carry on.
No!
He took Aziraphale's hand and led it back to his belly. Aziraphale hesitated before rubbing his hand in circles. It felt nice for Crowley, all of it. He felt heavy and sleepy and a little aroused. Aziraphale's hand soothed his taut belly, which protested against all the food Crowley had forced inside. He moaned a little as Aziraphale travelled below his navel, fingers lightly running over the flesh that was poking out over his waistband. So David Tennant has a muffin top here. Aziraphale is just like rubbing his belly, and apparently that's quite an erotic scene.
Right.
I'd like to know. I would actually like to know from people who are actually into feeding whether this sort of does it for them. This sort of fic.
You know what? I'm just going to skip ahead to something I had planned, and I'm going to talk about the comment section, because you've neatly segued to that.
Hey! See?
Congratulations.
I'm not going to read out who wrote these comments, because that seems unnecessarily cruel.
Okay.
But one of them reads, "Ooh, I love this. I love how they're both delighted to see each other getting rounder and softer. They're going to end in a never-ending cycle of pushing the other one to eat more, aren't they?"
Oh god. Okay.
So yes, this is working for them.
You know how we said we wouldn't kink shame?
I'm trying not to. And I'm totally not wrong.
Yeah, we're really trying. It's whatever you're
I'm
into,
not.
you do you. So long as you're not hurting
you
anybody
guys,
who doesn't
like,
want to be hurt, then you do you.
If people are into this, by all means, like, whatever floats your boat.
Shit.
But chapter 2, I'll just read the notes. I call this chapter the sexy chapter. I'm not super good at writing sex scenes, but the rest is pretty hot if you're into this.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is when it gets more sexual.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see what happens.
So Crowley considered himself to be a happy weight after 3 months, so they're both kind of getting chunky enough to really like get down to the baby making. His thighs are now splendidly thick, and his arms have gained a little mass as well.
Splendidly thick.
So
Splendidly thick.
Crowley is dummy thick.
I'm pretty sure that's written on like a custard I've got in my larder.
But which spelling of thick is on? Is it 2 C's?
So hang on a sec. So this demon, this spawn of Satan, really wants a family.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it? This happened in the 60s, and owning a pet cat that made him want it.
So the 60s, it was the baby boom.
Oh, was
He
it?
saw all these pregnant women around going, aha, I want to be one of those.
He strikes me as someone who hates kids, though.
Yeah.
Being a demon.
Crowley
Yeah.
Crowley never gave, like, I've seen how he treats his plants in the show
Oh,
and in the
yeah.
books, and I worry for any children if he's going to treat them like he treats his plants.
Tough love.
Why? What
Fair.
happens?
I don't want to spoil it for you. You'll find out in the show.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll tell you because. So yeah, because my Roomba one is kind of heavy on knowing how he treats his plants in some places.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so basically he owns these plants, and they're very well kept plants because he frightens the shit out of them into growing them, making them grow nice.
Yeah,
So-
but his plants literally have the fear of the devil in them. And
Yeah.
there's a really well done scene of him, like, torment. You know, do you remember back in Doctor Who when David Tennant would do his angry voice?
Oh,
And do
yeah.
all those. He does that to the plants, and they're just kind of
They're
terrified. Yeah.
shaking
It's
like
really
a-
well done.
Oh, nice. I tell you what, my girlfriend likes keeping plants. I'll mention that to her.
Yeah, he wants. Yeah, it said like he once read that talking to plants helps them grow, so he just like belts at them like,
Yeah.
if you don't fucking grow nice, I'm gonna put you in the dispenser, and and he does put some in the dispenser.
Yes,
if they've
there's
got,
a
like,
very
little
graphic
blemish on
torture
them.
scene with one of his plants.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah, you should watch Good Omens. It's very good.
Yeah. The shipping forecast, doling out advice to keen gardeners.
Endorses Good Omens and gardening.
Move over, Alan Titchmarsh.
So, obviously, before they start getting down to business and conceiving a child, they have a date night. So, Crowley spends the entire afternoon putting on a lovely dress that he's found.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
A
Crowley's a
dress?
cross-dresser
Actually, this
in the
is
show.
probably the least weird we've had so far. I don't know why I'm. Okay, sure. Yeah, he puts on a dress. Is it a
So, yeah.
sundress? Is it a gown?
It's a black dress that he's struggling to zip up.
Oh, okay, alright. Great.
Of course it is.
So
Of
yeah,
course
he
he is.
turns out he's gained more weight than he thought he had. So he tries for a while. There's 2 or 3 paragraphs of him trying to put this dress on, till eventually he gives up. And I'll quote this directly. Crowley was determined to find something to fit before he had to miracle a few inches onto something. Now, I have 2 problems with this. Crowley's a demon. He shouldn't really be miracling anything. Like, he should probably have his own
No, he's
term
got
for that.
his own demonic intervention thing, isn't
Yeah, he does demonic interventions. It's Aziraphale that does miracles.
he? Okay, so it's worded
But-
badly, and what?
Yeah, I don't
Gotta
know. That
forgive
ticked me
that
off.
of a feeder fic.
I don't forgive lore inconsistencies.
Okay. So,
Plus,
I'll be kink shaming, and James will be.
I'll read anything as long as it's consistent
Bashing
with
lore.
the show it's based on.
Yeah, so hang on a minute. We're here reading about Fat David Tennant in a dress, and here you are.
The lore isn't right!
It's not canon! It's not canon!
But here's the thing: if they can magic up all of their clothing in different sizes, why can't he just magically put on weight or other magical things, like making sure he can conceive normally at his size?
Don't know,
That's what bugs
he
me.
can
I've
turn
got a
into
theory.
a snake, for fuck's sake.
He is a snake, but that's
Oh shit, do you think he'll
Even
be
so.
laying eggs instead?
could
Possibly,
be.
yeah. I do have a theory though.
Is it a boy or a girl? It's an egg!
It's like, you know, how in Doctor Who, another series which starred David Tennant, you know how we had the fixed points in time that he couldn't do anything about. apart from when there was them few episodes where he could do something about them.
Oh yeah.
You think that him having to put on weight is like a fixed thing, or
I'm thinking him having to put on weight. He can't do it magically because it would inconvenience the plot if he could.
yeah,
No
that's pretty
shit.
much it.
Because like the whole of chapter 1 wouldn't exist. It'd just be like, hey, I need to get fatter for a baby. Right.
Snaps his fingers.
Yeah.
Done.
Now I am
Abracadabra.
fatter for a baby. Let's fuck and get this over with.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do have a question for Grace, actually.
What makes you think I know anything about fevers?
It's what's an A-line skirt?
What?
Apparently the skirt was A-line and used to fall to his knees, but now crept up further to accommodate for his larger butt. So what's an A-line skirt?
I'm assuming it's just a skirt, if I'm honest. But I don't know what an A-line skirt
I mean,
is.
you're a girl, so I just kind of assumed.
I don't know. You know what a sundress is. I don't.
Everyone knows what a sundress is.
What is it? Like, what makes it different from any other bloody dress?
It's floral and slightly see-through.
That could be
That's
any
pretty much
dress.
Nick, back me up on this. You know about sundresses, right?
I know about sundresses.
See,
It's when you hear Jonathan Pye talk about Tit Monday, which is like the first sunny day of the year, and then all these pretty girls come from nowhere and they're wearing sundresses. Sundresses, slightly see-through, slightly skimpy, made of like a loose sort of cloth and usually floral patterned.
Okay.
I think we've worked out why me and Nick know about sundresses and Grace doesn't.
Yeah, that's the one.
So they go on their date, and they go. Can you guess what they do for this date?
Do they go for a meal?
Yes, they go for a many-course meal. I can't remember how many exactly.
What, like an all-you-can-eat buffet?
I think it's just a posh restaurant they go to, because they're all dressed up. And
Okay.
they start off with canapes, and then
Okay.
the second course is a plate of bruschetta, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
bruschetta.
They finish them quickly, making small talk about village gossip, because an angel and a demon obviously don't have anything else to talk about.
I suppose not.
The third course is a salad topped with olive oil and served with a slice of sourdough bread. They mopped up the remaining dressing. French onion soup was next, so that's 4 courses. Crowley moaned when it was placed in front of him and dipped the spoon in before it was cool enough. I've never heard anyone moan about soup before, but
No.
I'm fucking starving.
so this episode was meant. This was meant to be me suffering, but it seems like I've just become immune and I'm just torturing Grace back. So 7 courses so far, according to this. So he's short of breath, but continues raising tiny pastries to his mouth. He moaned after each bite in a mix of pleasure and agony.
Oh, for God's
Is
sake.
it too much to hope that he just doesn't like throw up all over the place? Like, whoa.
Yeah. Like,
No, I've just thought about what this
Now he
is.
can eat more.
sorry, Nick. What?
I've just thought about what this reminds me of.
Okay.
What the fuck does this remind you of?
Have you seen Monty Python's Mr. Creosote sketch?
Yes.
Yes!
I
Yeah,
have.
that's
Yes.
exactly what it is.
Oh no.
That's what I was thinking of when I said throw up over, like projectile vomit.
Yes.
Absolutely just destroy the restaurant with
So that's the
demonic
one-
vomit.
That's
Would
the
you
one
like-
Monty Python film I really didn't like. So-
Meaning of life.
yeah, I've tried to blank that film out all of this time,
Oh, we had
and now
to
you've brought it
compulsory-
back.
It was a
That's-
compulsory film in philosophy and theology. We had to
I'm just imagining sort of a Sirafel with a French accent going, would you like a wafer thin mint?
Yeah,
With
that's-
a thin mint.
Fuck off,
Fuck
I'm full.
That's kind of where we are. So they call an Uber because they're too fat to walk home.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that sometimes.
yeah, this is probably the most relatable part of this fic, to be honest. Like,
Then I've seen the Vicar Dibley where she has like Christmas dinner around everyone's house, and she gets a taxi just to go around the corner and crawls out of it.
I've not, but
I think
that's
I've seen
more or
that
less
one,
how
yeah.
this is.
Yeah.
So they miracle themselves so the driver doesn't notice that they're so heavy. And Nick, you're the car expert. I imagine two very fat men at this point would kind of knock the car, like make it kind of back heavy if they're both sat in the back.
Yes, definitely.
So
it's
that-
like if you watch any of those like documentaries that are done in America on like really morbidly obese people.
No.
Oh
okay.
yeah, the car kind of tilts, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They kind of tilt when they get in.
So the car would be struggling right now. But it gets worse. This is an
Oh.
Uber, not a standard taxi. And if you, I don't know how often you've been in Ubers, but often they'll have like little treats in the back. And it was at
there's
this
not
point.
treats in the back of this.
It was at
one,
this
is
point that Aziraphale's eye caught
there?
the
Wait for
handful.
Thin Mint.
Shut up about the nuts.
Sorry.
It's at this point he noticed a handful of fun-sized chocolate bars.
God.
Can
Yeah.
Can I take us on a very slight other tangent about fun-size chocolate bars?
Sure.
Why do they call them fun size?
I know, right?
Right. I
You've
would
heard
be
the
having
story
more
about
fun
the Mars
the
bar,
more
haven't
chocolate
you?
I had. So why do they call them fun size?
Because
They fall out of pinatas really easily.
Well, yeah, but so would like a king size Yorkie. In fact, like on one
Okay.
of them dairy milks that's like the size of a
I'm going to
fucking
agree
house
with you
brick.
on this because yes, you know, like the £1 bags of Skittles you get.
Yeah,
The ones I typically take into the cinema as well.
yeah.
Apparently, they are
the big
family-sized.
Fuck off.
That's a lie.
I have been eating family-sized bags of Skittles to myself this entire time, and no one told me that this could feed a whole family.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's like when you look on the back of a ready meal and it says serves 2 to 3 people.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't
Yeah.
buy any of these kind of amounts.
It's wrong. If I want
It's
to eat,
provably wrong.
if I want to eat an entire cottage pie for my tea, I will.
Yeah. So they get out the taxi. They struggle into the cottage. I imagine this is kind of like one of those Three
Wait,
Stooges
did they or
scenes
did
where
they
they just
not?
kind of. Sorry?
Wait, I want to know, did they... I don't know why I want to know, but did they or did they not eat the fun-sized chocolates?
A few won't hurt. Aziraphale unwrapped the first candy and took a dainty bite.
Oh, I
Crowley
see. Okay.
rubbed
No, I didn't
harder,
ask for
feeling
a
how
narration.
Aziraphale's body
I didn't
was
ask for a
protesting
narration.
against the
I
chocolate
didn't
and
ask for a
caramel
narration.
that only stretched them out further.
No.
When they arrived at the cottage,
Fuck's sake.
three hands were working at Aziraphale's belly, and small pieces of wrappers. A small pile of wrappers laid between them. So he ate a lot of the fun-sized chocolate bars.
Fuck's sake.
But the driver received a nice tip and 5 stars, as Aziraphale moaned about he shouldn't have kept eating. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have done.
Well, yeah, it's his own fucking fault then, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did they have room? They had to get a taxi because they
don't
were
know.
so full. And then there were fucking sweets in there, and they were like, oh yeah, go on. And they ate the whole bowl. Are you joking?
I'm assuming he's using magic to kind of, like, make his belly bigger.
What, to have, like, the stomachs of a cow?
Yeah, I'd assume so. That's the only way this works.
Actually, yeah, if they can turn into animals, I reckon, like, Aziraphale would be a cow. I don't know. He looks kind of like one with all the white cow. I don't know.
Cows are good, though. That's not a diss on Aziraphale.
No, it's not. Cows are nice. Carry on.
So they get in the cottage, and Yep, they get in the bed, as said by this scene. Angel, oh god, get on the bed.
And then they go to sleep. Fantastic. Good
Then they try to have sex,
What?
but unfortunately, they're both very fat right now.
What?
And
Okay.
yeah, they can't line up, shall we say.
Okay. Oh dear. That's
So
a shame.
they try a couple of positions, and eventually they find one that works. Do you want me to go into graphic detail?
Never do I want to.
But you keep saying yes before, so...
I know, but okay, but tell me when you're going to start, and then like clap for when you're done, so I can take my earphones off.
I'm not gonna. It's okay. I'll
Okay.
leave this to the reader.
Fuck off.
Chapter
you dirty
3.
bastard. Yeah.
And this is the chapter.
Oh, this is only the third chapter.
That was chapter 2 of them getting preggers.
Oh yeah, they are preggers
there?
now, aren't they?
This is the last chapter. This is the one that came out while I was in our hiatus.
Okay, go on.
So there's a time skip. Crowley is now 42 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
I don't know the maths, but I think that's pretty close to when the baby comes out. Aziraphale was going to bring him breakfast in bed, but he couldn't get comfortable, so he came downstairs. They're going to go have a lovely walk together.
That's nice.
I think that's it for that kind of section. Oh, they're debating on if it's going to be a boy or a girl.
Or an egg.
Or an egg. That's not really a choice that comes up in this. They think it's going to be boy or girl.
Okay.
Of course, they can use magic to not only look into this, but determine it if they wish, but they'd never bring that up. And that annoys me.
They've decided not to.
Then they run into their neighbour, Elaine, who kind of talks to them about being pregnant and such. So Elaine is our first OC character in this, and our last.
Thank God.
For now.
Elaine is shockingly accepting and knowledgeable for her age as well. She'd never questioned it that Crowley was pregnant. When other neighbours had done double time. I suppose she is a bit of a Mary Sue, but it's a minor appearance, so I'll forgive them for that.
Oh!
Hang
on a minute. Elaine doesn't know as much as she thinks about pregnancy.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I'm just reading down before it sort of goes.
Do you know more than Elaine?
I think he does actually. If he's reading the bit, I'm thinking.
Well, yeah. Just hang on. Here's one. They're sort of talking away, and Elaine says, "Hopefully that's soon." Elaine said, "Have a glass of wine tonight and relax."
You can have wine.
I thought this was aimed at Aziraphale, truth be told, but now I've read that sentence properly. It's not.
It's aimed at Crowley, the pregnant one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to drink while you're pregnant.
That is absolutely true.
You're not supposed to drink, but you are allowed one glass at sort of intervals. However, do not take my word for it, pregnant readers. Don't want to cause any issues. Look it up.
I'm typing it in now.
If we're going to be sued, I don't want it to be for that.
You are limited to 1 or 2 units of alcohol.
Hey.
Right, okay.
Apparently, it is safest not to drink at all, but if you must, 1 or 2 units of alcohol.
If you must.
If you
absolutely, in case you've already got a toddler.
Yeah. So, I still say no. I wouldn't if I were you. But on the other hand, Crowley's a demon. I'm not sure it matters. So I may need help with the pronunciation here. I'm going to put this in the chat. How would you pronounce this name?
Hang on.
Don't know. Give up immediately.
Because I don't know. I'm going to go with Circe. So Saoirse. I know it's an Irish name, and I can't read it. I'm struggling.
Is it actually a name?
I think it's a real name. Yeah, I've seen it around, but I wouldn't know how to pronounce it.
Pop it into Google.
Yeah, I'll put it into
Sauce. Soras.
Oh, yeah, there's
Dunno.
the first result is an 8-second video of how to pronounce this name.
Yeah.
Oh, go on then. How?
Well, I'm going to listen to it and I'll tell you.
I await with bated breath.
Susha.
Susha.
Susha. So that's the name they're going to choose for the baby if it's a girl.
Okay.
And apparently it means freedom.
Oh, okay.
How adorable. Alright, carry on. What?
Or Pelham if it's a boy.
Pelham.
Pelham. And Aziraphale reckons it's going to be
What
a
does
boy.
Pelham
Crowley
mean?
reckons it. I'm googling that right now.
That's
Apparently it's a typeface used in the Times New Roman family.
In fact, I just had a look at sort of Google Maps because I'm pretty sure Pelham's a place.
So Pelham is a boy's name of English origin meaning tannery town. So their choices are freedom or tannery.
Freedom or Tannery Town?
Yes.
Freedom or Essex?
Yeah. Not that kind of tannery.
I just had a look because I'm sure Pelham was a place, and apparently
It is a place.
just
It's a
across
tannery
just
town.
Famous for its tannery.
yeah, it's
Apparently.
just across the bridge from me in Immingham. There is a Pelham Hotel.
Alright.
Yeah. Which probably used to be a tannery.
Yeah, which probably used to be.
And you
Oh,
think...
please look it up and see if it used to be a tannery.
So this is the thing. Aziraphale has been around since the dawn of humanity. Like, he
He
was
would
there
know.
for Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
He should know better than naming someone after a tannery. So yeah, I'm impressed.
Didn't
But
they
trying to wrap
use-
up, just so Grace can go get food, and I've only two
Oh,
more
yeah,
paragraphs till I'm done. So, they're debating about the name. There's a time skip, and suddenly baby Susha is born.
Okay.
And
Oh, thank God they don't describe the birth.
that's the thing. They skip the birth. They talk about this adorable ginger child with bright blue eyes, and promise to show her all the neat things humans have invented.
Hey.
They would fall asleep together that first night, and 18 months later, begin it all again.
What?
So
What do you
they
mean
choose to have
begin it all
another
again?
child. They do it all again, 18 months
Oh,
later.
no.
They get chonky, they have a child again.
They get chunky.
They get chonky.
They get chunky.
Is that a technical term?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
And that's the end of Dad Bod. This is one of the first ones it's actually got a proper ending that is finished, which is rare in fan fictions we've covered.
Yeah, I mean, usually they just sort of tail off, and then you never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
None of the ones we've left on a cliffhanger have updated. I checked before we started recording.
Oh, I'm so upset that my one didn't.
I know we need to know. We need to know the ending of that.
I'm very, very close to setting up an account just to like bully them into finishing it.
May as well. Like, I might not bully them. I'll just kind of like, hey, we enjoyed this. Can you please continue? I need closure. So yeah, chapter 3, fairly kind of free of any of the sexual stuff or the eating, which is I appreciate.
Yeah, it was more wholesome, I suppose.
So I may as well talk about ratings while we're here, and then we'll move on to Nick's suffering. So, in terms of romance and stuff, I would argue it's fairly romantic, but not massively. I think this gets a 2 or a 3 from me. Because for people who are into this, it seems like it's quite good. But they skip so many things that I'm just kind of not impressed with it at the same time.
In terms of romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine if I was here for all of this, I would have wanted to see the birth and things like that.
I'm kind of glad that we didn't, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to find... I do this every time. I can't remember where I write down the ratings, and I can't remember what we rate these things on.
we would like to remind our listeners that the shipping forecast is
Again, every time.
Yeah.
Wait, I think this is it. Yes. Okay. So we rate it on romance, canon, weirdness, and if we liked it or not.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, romance, I'm gonna give it a 3. Canon,
Okay.
I'm giving it a 0 because there's so many. I mean, it's actually no. I'm gonna give it a 1 because they managed to tie it in, like setting it after all of this went on. That's fine, but at the same time, like the use of miracles is so bizarre and unsparing, and God, I've lost my words.
I was just gonna say it just seems very out of character more than
Yeah,
anything.
They seem to have flipped it. Like Crowley is the effeminate one in this, where typically they usually portrayed the other way around. And I don't imagine Aziraphale as a father figure typically, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking that. I mean, I haven't seen the series yet, but I would have thought that it probably would have been the other way around. Like Crowley wouldn't give a shit about kids, but
yeah, he's a demon. And he's so horrible to his plants that I can't see him being a very caring mother.
No, I think he'd be a very terrible parent. But like, if your kid's half demon, maybe that's what you need. I don't know.
Potentially, I don't know. That's another thing. There's so many questions about how this would work. Them having a child.
Yeah, maybe we just like don't give them enough credit. We're too deep in our angel demon AU bias.
Maybe so. There's also weirdness. It will come as no surprise. I'm rating this a 5 out of 5 on the weirdness.
Mhm.
It was pretty weird.
I'd rate it a bit less than a 5.
You reckon?
Because nothing that weird actually happened.
Oh, actually, yeah. I suppose you have a point. Like the sex was short and over quite quickly.
Yeah,
yeah, I'll give you that.
Nothing really weird happened. Like no one suddenly grew extra limbs or like teleported places. People weren't exploding in the street or.
Okay, I'll knock it down to a
weird
4.
bullshit. Yeah, I mean.
Okay, 4 out of 5.
It was pretty slice of life. Let's be honest.
Okay, that's fine. And finally, did I like it? I don't think I did, but I don't think I'm meant to. I don't think I'm the target audience for this. What do you guys think?
I don't know, if you were the target audience, do you think you'd have liked it?
Yes, I think so. And looking at the comments, they seem to agree with that, that this is a well-written fic. So if this is your cup of tea, this is where you should go, I think.
Some biscuits and start dunking.
Get some biscuits and start dunking.
So
and talking of biscuits, I think we shall take a break and then we'll come back to Nick suffering.
Oh, thank God. Alright. Yeah.